It is a Sunday afternoon. You are at a family gathering, a cookout maybe, a holiday dinner, a birthday celebration. It does not matter which one. The food is good, the people are loud in the way you love, someone is playing music too loudly from a phone. A child is running through a room they were told not to run through. And at some point during the afternoon, not in a mean way, not in a dramatic way, just in the quiet way that families sometimes have of measuring each other, someone asks you how you are doing financially. Maybe it is an aunt. Maybe it is a cousin who just bought something new and wants to compare. Maybe it is just a glance between people who grew up in the same house and know exactly what the numbers looked like when you were all starting out. And in that moment, whatever your answer was out loud, there was a different answer sitting quietly in the back of your mind. One that did not have words yet. This video is going to give it words. In many families, particularly Black families, immigrant families, working class families, there is no financial template being passed down. No investment accounts opened by grandparents. No family meeting about estate planning. No inherited knowledge about Roth IRAs or index funds or the power of a 20% savings rate. What gets passed down instead is a relationship with money, often shaped by scarcity, often defined by survival, often built around the quiet belief that wealth is for other people in other families, in other zip codes. And somewhere in that family, in almost every family, there is one person who starts to think differently. They do not announce it, they do not have a plan yet, they are not standing on a stage, they are just sitting at that Sunday cookout, answering questions about how they are doing, with a different answer forming quietly in the back of their mind. This video is about the 10 signs that that person is you. I want you to meet someone. Her name is Kezia. She is 28 years old. She works as a healthcare administrator in Memphis, Tennessee. She earns $46,000 a year. She grew up in a house where money was never discussed except in its absence. We cannot afford that. Money does not grow on trees. Rich people are different from us. These things were not said with bitterness. They were said with the honest resignation of people managing real constraints. Nobody in Kezia's immediate family has significant investments. Nobody owns rental property. Nobody has a financial advisor. The concept of generational wealth was never a dinner table conversation. But Kezia has started thinking differently. Not dramatically, not with a manifesto or a vision board or a dramatic financial awakening, just quietly, the way real change always begins. And the 10 signs are already present in her life. Every single one of them. Sign 1. You feel the financial weight of your family. Differently from everyone else in it. Everyone at the Sunday cookout loves each other. Nobody is calculating anything. But Kezia feels something that her cousins do not seem to feel. Not resentment, not superiority, something more specific and more important. Responsibility. A quiet sense that the financial trajectory of this family does not have to continue the way it has been going. That the ceiling that felt fixed for her parents does not have to be the floor for the generation beneath them. This is not a burden she was assigned. It is one she has quietly picked up herself. And the people who quietly pick up the financial responsibility for their family, without being asked, without an audience, without a reward, are almost always the people who eventually change the direction of that family's story. Sign 2. You have started learning about money outside of school and outside of your family. Nobody in Kezia's family taught her what a Roth IRA was. She found it herself. A YouTube video at 11:30 on a Tuesday night. A podcast on a long drive. An article she saved to read later that she actually went back and read. The learning is informal, inconsistent. Sometimes she goes weeks without consuming any financial content. But it is self-directed, driven entirely by her own curiosity and her own desire for a different outcome. When you are actively seeking out financial knowledge that nobody in your environment is providing, That is one of the clearest signs of a person who is building a different relationship with money than the one they inherited. Most people wait to be taught. The people who change their family's financial story go looking before anyone gives them permission. Sign 3. You have broken at least one financial pattern from your family of origin. Kezia's parents never saved anything systematically. Every paycheck went to bills and necessities and whatever was needed that month. Saving was what happened when there was something left over, which was almost never. Kezia has a $2,100 savings account. Small, imperfect, built slowly and inconsistently, but deliberate. She broke a pattern. Not completely, not perfectly, but she broke it. Here is what most people do not understand about generational wealth. The first generation to break a financial pattern in a family is the most important generation in that family's entire financial history, not the generation that inherits the wealth at the end. The generation that interrupted the pattern at the beginning. Kezia is that generation. The $2,100 is not just savings. It is the first brick of something that did not exist before her. Sign 4. You think about your family's financial future, not just your own. Most personal finance advice is entirely individualistic. Your savings rate, your investment account, your retirement number. Kezia thinks differently. She thinks about her mother at 68 with no pension and minimal social security. She thinks about what happens if her father gets sick. She thinks about the younger cousins who are about to make the same financial decisions she made at their age, without any more information than she had. She carries these thoughts not as a burden, but as a compass. Thinking about the financial future of your family, not just yourself, means you are operating from a generational frame. And a generational frame is the only frame that builds generational wealth. Individual wealth runs out. Generational wealth compounds. The difference between the two is not income. It is which frame you are building from. Sign 5. You have started having money conversations your family never had. Kezia recently told her younger sister about the 401k employer match. Her sister did not know what it was. Kezia explained it the way you explain something useful, like a shortcut or a good restaurant. Her sister enrolled the following week and collected free money she had been leaving on the table for 2 years. Kezia did not make a big deal of it. She mentioned it. Her sister acted on it. Something changed. That conversation is a wealth sign. Not primarily because of the money it produced, though the money matters, but because Kezia spoke about money openly in her family, specifically, without the shame or the silence that surrounded it when she was growing up. The family that talks about money builds a financial culture. The family that stays silent inherits the one they were born into. Kezia broke the silence. That is a generational act. Sign 6. You have delayed a lifestyle upgrade to build a financial foundation first. You are at a Sunday cookout and someone is talking about their new car. Someone else just signed a lease on a nicer apartment. Someone posted a vacation last week that cost more than your monthly savings rate. You have not upgraded. Not because you cannot. You could move to a nicer place. You could drive something newer. But every time you run the calculation, and you run it, the upgrade costs more than it is worth against where you are trying to go. Kezia is 31 months into a delayed gratification that most people around her abandoned within 6 months of getting their first real salary. Consumer culture is designed specifically to erode patience. Every advertisement, every social media post, every visible upgrade in the people around you is a pressure on the same point. Spend now, build later. The person who resists that pressure, not forever, not monastically, just long enough to build a foundation, is the person who eventually has something real beneath their life. Sign 7. You have started protecting your financial decisions from your social environment. This one is uncomfortable to say, and it is important. The people Kezia loves most are not always the best influence on her financial decisions. Not because they are bad people, because they operate from the same financial framework she grew up in. And that framework, spend what you have, worry about saving later, money is for living, not storing, is genuinely at odds with what Kezia is trying to build. She has not abandoned her family or her friends, but she has stopped seeking their financial validation. She makes decisions before she mentions them to anyone. She has learned that some plans survive better in private than in public. The first generation to build wealth in a family almost always builds it quietly. Not secretively, quietly. Because a plan that is announced before it is built is a plan that gets talked out of existence by people who love you but share the framework you are trying to leave behind. Sign 8. You feel differently about debt than the people around you. Consumer debt is completely normalized in Kezia's environment. Everyone has credit card balances. Car loans are standard. Buy now, pay later is just how shopping works. Kezia has $400 in credit card debt. It bothers her in a way it does not seem to bother anyone else she knows. Not catastrophically, not anxiously, just a low-level discomfort that sits in the background until it is gone. That asymmetry, the fact that debt feels uncomfortable to her when it feels ordinary to everyone around her, is one of the most reliable early signals of a person who will eventually be completely debt-free in an environment where debt is considered a normal feature of adult life. The discomfort is not a problem to solve. It is a compass pointing toward a different financial life than the one she inherited. Sign 9. You have started thinking in time horizons your family never used. Kezia's parents thought in months, sometimes in seasons, never in decades. Kezia has started thinking in decades. Not obsessively, not with a detailed 20-year financial plan pinned to her wall, but when she makes financial decisions, she has started asking a question that almost nobody in her family has ever asked before her. What does this look like in 10 years? That question, applied consistently, produces a fundamentally different set of choices than the question, can I afford this now? A $400 purchase on a credit card feels fine when the question is, can I afford this now? It looks different when the question is, what does carrying this balance look like across the next decade? The shift from short horizon to long horizon thinking is one of the most significant cognitive transitions in wealth building. Most people and families without a financial template never make it. Kezia is making it. Sign 10. You believe, with your whole self, that your family's financial story can be different. This is the most important sign on the list, and it is the one that is most specifically cultural. Because in families without a financial template, in families where wealth was never the story, this belief is the hardest one to hold. Not because the people are less capable, but because belief requires evidence. And when the evidence around you has always pointed in one direction, toward the idea that wealth is for other families, believing in a different direction requires something that goes beyond logic. Kezia is sitting at that Sunday cookout. She is watching her family. People she loves completely, people she is not above, people she is not trying to leave behind. And she believes, quietly, without proof, without a plan that fully justifies the belief, that their financial story does not end here. That belief is fragile some days, drowned out by hard months and tight paychecks and the weight of being the only one running a calculation nobody else is running. But it is present. And a belief that is present even when it is fragile, even when it makes no obvious sense, is the foundation beneath every other sign on this list. Generational wealth does not begin with a large inheritance. It does not begin with a perfect financial plan, or a high income, or a lucky investment. It begins with one person in a family who starts thinking differently. One person who feels the responsibility without being told to feel it, who learns what nobody taught them, who breaks the pattern that everyone around them has accepted as fixed, Who has conversations that were never had before? Who delays the upgrade and protects the plan and feels differently about debt? Who thinks in decades instead of months? And who holds on to the belief, against all the evidence of a family without a financial template, that the story can change? That person almost never knows they are the first chapter of something. They are just sitting at a Sunday cookout, answering a question about how they are doing, with a different answer forming quietly in the back of their mind. If you recognized yourself in any of these 10 signs, you are not just building your own wealth. You are building the financial template that everyone who comes after you will inherit. Not the money, the template, the knowledge, the habits, the conversations, the belief that it is possible. That is not a small thing. That is everything.